How many of you are used to holding your threads when you're starting to sew, where you put the fabric in and you feel like you've got to hold on to this? Well, let me show you that you actually don't need to hold on to threads when you start to sew, and why. So here is where you would need to hold on to it. If you put your fabric up to the underneath the foot, but you didn't put it far enough where the needle is going to hit the fabric first. It's going to hit air. So that would be one time to kind of maybe hold on to that thread before you start. But if you just slide in just a little further so you can see fabric down in your sewing area, then you don't have to hold those threads. And the reason why is because on this machine, when you stop, you're stopping with the needle always at the correct or finished position. The take-up lever is all the way at the top. So if you are used to turning the hand wheel over here and turning your needle up, well, if you don't bring your take-up lever all the way up to the highest position, that's when you get in trouble and need to hold the threads when you start to sew, because what it's going to do next is continue to bring the threads, pulling them out of the needle, making them not actually be where they want. So I would recommend that you get used to using the needle up, needle down button, or on the back of your foot control where you can just take that half a stitch. And then when you pull your fabric out and cut your threads, or use the thread cutter on the front of the machine, that when you go to start, you can go ahead and start. And look, the thread doesn't even have a little pull on it. It's even still kind of hooked up on over the little cutter I was using. But that's why people often hold onto their threads, is because they're not finishing the stitch, because they're turning it by hand and using the hand wheel over here. But if you can eliminate that using always the proper needle up or needle down button, or making sure that the needle's always stopping at the highest position, then you know that your stitch is complete, and when you start again, it will start without pulling your thread out of your needle.